Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Clockwork Empires version 39. It's part 4 of the current series. My name is Alfred. Yeah, we're just going to keep on trucking with the current colony. We've got a whole bunch of the basic buildings set up now. I think we can start worrying about the more advanced buildings, like the laboratory and the chemist shop, and maybe I can start making some guns or some booze. So I imagine that's what I'll be doing in the for the foreseeable future. Oh, we've got some fishmen. Walking purposefully. Let's see which... I think this is Abnulthay's school. Haven't been able to... No! They're chopping down my bamboo. Alright, now hopefully I have the correct policy in place to just scare them off without killing them. So Elsa here has taken the hassle-aggressive fish person job, which has successfully scared them out of my bamboo stand. Okay, I think it's fine now. Wait, are they hassling my corn? You... Fishmen are jerks. Maybe... Probably shouldn't be so judgmental. I mean, they live under the ocean, right? They probably don't understand agriculture. I mean, given... We can infer from the state of their, maybe, you know, what they wear and the kind of tools they use, right? This guy's got a bone knife. They're probably at a subsistence level civilization. Like they probably they probably don't understand agriculture. So I think we can cut them some slack. And maybe our two cultures can learn something from each other. Or maybe I may be forced to kill them with my guns. Could go either way, really. Right, I'm noticing stuff is getting dropped on the ground because my stockpiles are very full of all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to change this filter so it's everything but food. And I notice my food stockpile is also very full. So I'm going to define another food stockpile. Let's... I guess it doesn't really matter where I put it. Let's put it over here. I've done the inverse select, so by right-clicking on the food icon, it deselects everything except the button. Let's clear some of the crud off of here. And another thing. So if I area select something, anything, trees, rocks, ground clutter, I can later mouse over the icon it creates and it will show me the highlighted area and the specific things that people are going to clear out of that area, like this. Right, we've got a favor coming in. I'm just going to pause the game here for a sec. What do I need? Almost all my crews have 3 or 4 people. That's pretty cool. Let's see, I definitely do not need food or building materials. I will take a naturalist, however. I think that's a good choice. A naturalist will automatically explore the fringes of my of the explored world, which might help me locate some more resources. So if we look over here, the naturalist, Mrs. Crimble Temper, she's got her own work crew, although there are currently no civilians attached to her. Let's see. She's of sound mind. She's eager to fight for Queen and Empire, and she's happy. She enjoyed the journey. She slept in a bed recently, and she recently drank booze. So I feel she's on a good footing. She has yet to see anything horrifying. No doubt that will change soon. But, you know, let's, ignorance is bliss until you see your first Fishman corpse. Just let her be happy for now. Someone's left a chunk of malachite in the ceramics workshop because there was nowhere to put it. think my colony could actually use more beds. Just gonna use the dwarf fortress rule of thumb. I built some beds and every single bed is occupied, which means I need more beds. How am I doing for bolts of... I've only got 2 bolts of cloth, but I have got a whole bunch of flax straw. So I'm going to order up some more bolts here. Let's say 5 more. And why don't I put in some more beds? I could probably only cram in maybe 1 more bed in the actual house. I don't want to cram them too close together or into corners or things because that causes collision issues, I think, when colonists are trying to like path their way out. I would rather put it, probably put one here in the carpentry. Oh, the mining building has lots of room for beds. There we go. So we've got a couple more beds in. So I feel like we're doing okay for food. Do we have a lot of jobs pending? Not too bad, actually, for a colony of this size. I don't need any more overseers. I'm just going to take 3 randos. Let's make sure they're assigned. Why don't you go here? So, looking ahead, I want to establish a chemist's. I actually, because I rarely ever get around to doing that in these playthroughs. With the chemists, I can produce drugs for my colony. In this case, because it's the tropics, I can produce opium, which requires that I grow opium poppies. In the temperate biome, I grow... oh, no, I'm just blanking here. And yeah, I'll get back to that. So, I grow opium, which is processed into buckets of opium, or the opium poppies, which are processed into buckets of opium, and that is processed at a chemist along with booze, I think? I'm blanking on the tech tree too. Okay, well, I'm going to build all that stuff anyway, so I've got the opium fields on the go. What to build next? I guess I need a brewery, either a brewery or a chemist. I think I need the... I'm going to go with the chemists first. I mean, the brewery and the chemists can actually operate independently. So I'm going to the chemists here on the far side of the poppy fields. And a chemistry workbench. It's pretty big, actually. And just for appearances, a standing desk. Righto, let's take a look at our resources. A little bit short on planks. Maybe I'll order up some more planks. Maybe just 3. So, again, it used to be that 1 order of planks. To make 1 plank, you'd need someone to lug in 1 log. And that was changed so that a single log will produce multiple planks, but the exact number of planks that is produced is actually variable, which I had someone clarify for me recently. Basically, let's take a look at the workshop's overseer, Mr. Tomplock. Achilles Tomplock. So if we take a look at Mr. Tomplock's skills, his carpentry skill is actually not terrible. Also resource collection and farming, because those are the things he's spent the most time doing. So the overseer's skill determines the speed and efficiency with which his work crew and thus his workshop produces goods. A highly skilled overseer will produce more planks out of logs. And the developers have mentioned eventually that will become a very important investment in time. Basically, one of the most significant factors in efficiency will be how skilled your workers are. So the better and better that this crew gets at making planks, the more planks they'll make. And that holds true, naturally that holds true for every workshop. So eventually you'll want an economy of specialists. You'll want people, and there goes the autosave, you'll want people who are good at things to become the best at those things. Which means they train and they find efficiencies. Of course, their absence will be most keenly felt and when they die for whatever reason, hunger, starvation, Fishman attacks, being eaten by death worms, whatever, right? It lends sort of significance to the individual life stories of colonists, or I guess that's the hope. One thing I do have to keep an eye on, we have 42 colonists right now. I'm wary of growing the colony any larger. That's just simply because version 39, the devs have said there are some memory footprint issues with this revision. Just because so much new stuff has gone in and stuff has been changed around, its memory footprint is larger than it's supposed to be. And if your game gets too large, you're going to suffer from significant slowdowns and possible instability, and the game might crash if you try to save. So, I'm going to try to keep the colony's population below 50, both for the sake of stability and also, yeah, so it doesn't crash when I try to save it. Now I might point out I've been using gabions to plug up some of the smaller gaps between buildings, as I normally do, but it hasn't proven necessary actually, because I haven't had the massive waves of Fishman attacks that I've had in the past, and that's because I've tried to maintain peaceable diplomatic relations. So for this particular game I actually could have done without them, although they didn't cost me much in terms of resources. Could have gone either way, I guess. Well, looks like there's a fine chili harvest coming in. Now I did set the kitchen to maintain a standing order of a number of different dishes. Let's see. For instance, I said always keep at least 3 maize stew in the stockpile, and I've got a bunch of these. Same coconut curry, and then just regular stew. I've got more than enough, right? My current levels exceed the standing order requirements, so the kitchen is not cooking anything. And the work crew that I've assigned to the kitchen, Mrs. Ty's crew, they're farming, because they're not required in the kitchen. So the chemist is being built. I'm going to see if I can try to produce some booze. And maybe I'll get started on the metalsmith thing. Yeah, if I can find some flat space. So here we are back at the colony. Now we're on about noon of the 18th day. The chemist's shop is, well, it's still under construction, but the building is done and we've got a workbench, which means we can start making chemistry related stuff. I've also got a brewery set up here. Initially I wanted it so that I could start making moonshine, which is a vital component of the, well, here, take a look. So one of the products of the workshop is the bottle of laudanum. Now, that requires a bucket of opium and a bottle of moonshine, which I can't produce until I have a still set up at the brewery, which is why I built the brewery. Here's another autosave. However, what I can produce at the chemist's is the bottle of sulfur tonic. And thanks to, if we take a look at our commodities here, thanks to the mine, amongst all the random other minerals and ores we've dug up a fair amount of sulfur, just raw sulfur. So I'm going to start making sulfur tonics. And although I've got the raw ores, I don't have the machined metal parts to make a still. Like if we take a look at the brewery's modules, right? On the far right here is the mechanical still, and that requires all sorts of like gears and plates, and I just don't have enough. So I can't build any of those until I get the metalworks built. So no whiskey until I get a still, no still until I get a metalworks. So I've been flattening the land here and chopping it down. This will be the site of my metalworks. In the meantime, I'm going to be producing chicha out of corn and laudanum at the chemist's, and hopefully this will make my colonists happier, or at least numb to the pervasive horrors of day-to-day living in a new colony. But first we have a bandit defector. From somewhere. Sure, why don't you come join us? Smugly Dog. That's quite the name. So he's going to try and make his way over to the colony. Oh, here's the same script error we had earlier. It proves to be a non-fatal error, which is cool. So we're just going to close this. So Smugly Dog is in... what is he doing? Why is he carrying a corpse? He's going to bring it all the way to the colony? Okay. Elsa Ironworth is starving. I hope it's not because she's stuck inside this furniture. Well, she's asleep right now. So, we'll see if the situation resolves itself in the morning. Oh dear, and if we look at the bottom right here, Achilles Tomplock has just about lost it, to be honest. Unfortunately, he's the overseer of my carpentry. Now, he hasn't renamed the carpentry anything sinister at the moment. But, maybe a bear is taking a closer look at. Oh, he's gibbering in horror. He's clearly insane, but he's still happy. He hasn't had enough sleep, although he's been eating. He's been having weird visions. He discovered someone was his relative and made friends with them and saw Fishman. Well, I guess until he completely loses his nut, I need him working at the carpentry. So, you know, hopefully that'll be okay. And in the meantime, maybe this will help his mental state. I've got a working chemist. Assign a crew here, and well, I've got 12 sulfur, and frankly, I don't think sulfur fertilizer has been implemented in game yet. So I'm just gonna say, here's a standing order, make me 8 bottles of sulfur tonic. Ooh, cult activity. Don't want to take too many more. Okay, I'm just gonna say 1 overseer, but look at this, bottom right. Achilles Tomplock, the... oh man. Oh, what's going on here? Well, Achilles Tomplock has formed a cult. The Holders of the Builders. That doesn't seem too much of a problem, actually. I mean, carpentry's still getting done, right? Now, as a cultist, he's going to go around inviting people to join his cult. People who are happy with their lot in life will tend not to want to join. Another bandit colony. Let's just not shoot at them until they attack us. Someone is destroying a gabion. Now I've got a standing order to shoo Fishman away. And these Gabions are actually not serving any purpose. Like, these fishmen don't seem to be aggressive toward my colonists, and they're not... The worst they do is destroy the crops. Why is this guy just wandering? Well, I guess that's fine. And so that's where we're going to end this particular episode. I think we got a lot of stuff done in this playthrough, but this episode's running a bit long. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me mess around in the jungle. Again, this is Clockwork Empires, version 39. That's the most recent stable release. Next episode will feature things like sulfur tonics and moonshine, since I finally get the still up and running. And we get to see more sort of personality-driven things. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one as well. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good one.